Woke feminist actress and controversial celebrity Elizabeth Banks is still fuming after all of these years after the complete failure at the box office for her film Charlie's Angels. And now she is saying this in a major backpedaling move where she says that Charlie's Angels was not some feminist manifesto and tells reporter he'll never understand women's issues. So we're going to get into all of this because this is a complete lie that she is saying here. So let's get into what she actually has to say here, and then we'll take a look at what she actually said back in the time. So during a recent interview with New York Times, Banks said discussing Charlie's Angels was a long conversation that I don't know that I want to get into. Is that because it was a complete flop? But then the Hunger Games actress relented, explaining her thoughts on the film's impact. There was a story around Charlie's Angels that I was creating some feminist manifesto. According to your own words, I was just making an action movie, she said. I would have liked to have made Mission Impossible, but women aren't directing Mission Impossible for a good reason. I was able to direct an action movie, frankly, because it starred women and I'm a female director. And that is the confine right now in Hollywood. Banks continued, I wish that the movie had not been presented as just for girls because I didn't make it just for girls. There was a disconnect on the marketing side of it for me. Well, I mean, a lot of that was your own fault and things that you said. So we'll take a look at a couple of the things that she said back then when this film came out. Elizabeth Banks stirred up a bit of controversy with her comments about other female-led action movies like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, which she said belonged to a male genre. They'll go and see a comic book movie with Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel because that's a male genre. So even though those are movies about women, they put them in the context of feeding the larger comic book world. So it's all about, yes, you're watching a Wonder Woman movie, but we're setting up 3 other characters, or we're setting up Justice League. And in another interview with the Wall Street Journal, Banks responded to critics who think it's too soon for a Charlie's Angels reboot. You've had 37 Spider-Man movies and you're not complaining. I think women are allowed to have 1 or 2 action franchises every 17 years. I feel totally fine with that. On Twitter, Banks' comments have been met with mixed responses. Some have criticized her for calling superhero movies a female or a male genre. And you remember what she literally just said? There was a story around Charlie's Angels that I was creating some feminist manifesto. I was just making an action movie. Well, she said this back in the day when Charlie's Angels was first coming out. Charlie's Angels has always been about women, and the DNA of it is about women working together on this team. We are not treading in a male space. I think that's one of the big differences between these two things. I don't know. I'm less concerned about that. Of course, those trolls are horrifying, you know? I challenge them to get up and make an effing action movie. I welcome any of them into my realm. So, of course, this is her speaking into a narrative that we have heard time and time again. And this was something else that she said at the time. Look, people have to buy movie tickets to this movie too. This movie has to make money. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women do action movies. Which is funny because that's literally what we've heard recently coming from Viola Davis when she was talking about Woman King, where she says if audiences don't go see Woman King, they are supporting the narrative that black women cannot lead the box office globally. And this is such a ridiculous narrative that we continue to hear time and time again, where if you don't support a specific movie that is being pushed at some sort of woke accomplishment, then you are part of the problem. But it doesn't make any sense whatsoever because there's plenty of female-led movies that I love out there that are action movies that aren't even superhero movies. Movies like Aliens. Aliens is one of my favorite films of all time. You also have Alita Battle Angel, and you've had you've had also Kill Bill. So there are plenty of other female-led action movies out there. The big difference is that yours is focused on the agenda. It's not focused on actually telling a good story, and that is what your problem is, and that is why Charlie's Angels was a flop. And then she closed out her interview with New York Times by saying this: it's a male-dominated industry. It's a male-dominated world. That's what I'm up against, but I can't solve it, and I don't really want to analyze it. And this is the part that really just got me. This is so funny. She continued, I'm not trying to shirk my responsibility. I just just want the framing device around me to not consistently be that I'm some sort of feminist activist, even though that's literally all that she talks about. Anyway, this is so funny, and the controversies continue, and it gets more hilarious as Elizabeth Banks continues to open her mouth every single time. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.